Tamily. It is time for our 80th interview. 80th. Today's February 1st, 2020, and our 80th Ask Tamily interview will be starring Tiffany Ann. She will be joining in just a moment. And of course, we have questions planned, but live questions are where it's. So bring on your live questions for Tiffany. And we are just connecting. Hello!
Hi!
I'm so excited!
Me too! This is so fun!
It really is, especially because this is our 80th Ask Tamily interview.
Oh my!
Can you believe that?
I think. Sorry. I have it on Do Not Disturb, but for some reason it still I don't know why that happens.
Oh, that's okay.
So I think it's so awesome what you guys are doing. I love that you've given a platform to this community because there's just so much involved in it that I think people don't know, it's so much more than working out and Instagramming our videos.
Yeah, exactly. And to get a little bit of insight from, the whole community, whether it's people that are new or are veterans,
exactly.
Definitely. So we are so excited to learn more about you today.
Yay!
We'd like to go ahead and get started with some of our planned questions, and then I'll scroll through the chat and make sure we ask those as well.
Okay.
So let's start with our favorite question, which is when and how did you start with the Tracy Anderson method?
Yes, that is I love that question too. So I think it's like a story is similar. It's so weird actually because I had a son and I gained 60 pounds with my son, which was exactly like Tracy. So when I heard her story, I was like, oh, that's me. So I gained 60 pounds with James, and then I had Ava. And I was doing, I'd always been into fitness. I'd always been my mom, ever since I was little, but I was watching Oprah and because I had this 15 pounds that just wouldn't go away. And everything was so bulky and I looked like a gymnast. Not that that's a bad thing, but for me, that kind of boxy frame came with a lot of pain and, my stomach and my core and all of that. And so when I was watching Gwyneth and I was listening to Tracy, I was like, how do I have access to this? And at that time you didn't. It was a launch, of course, but shortly after I was able to. But I kind of I also have a trainer background. So I was watching and studying the Gwyneth Paltrow segment on Oprah. And I was like, okay, it looks like she's doing this. So I was trying to do my own version and not ever match Tracy yourself. So of course it didn't work. But when she came out with the original Matte DVD, I did that every single day for until she came out with Perfect Design. And then I did Perfect Design and I did that the way she prescribed. And then I, of course, jumped onto Meta and all of that. So it's been probably 12 years since I've been doing her method now.
Wow. Did you start streaming as soon as that came out, or what was your timing for streaming?
No, so I wish that I could have from the very beginning. It launched, I think, on January 2015. I didn't start till April because I had gone through this keeps sliding. I had gone through a personal problem that caused me to not be able to afford any of streaming because it was at that time way out of my budget. So I didn't, but I was still right in with continuity. I was on year 3 of continuity. So I just continued with that until I was able to. So I really empathize with people who want to do it, but just they can't. So
yeah. So what is your routine now around the workout? What levels do you do with streaming, and do you ever do dance cardio?
So dance cardio, I will say no, I don't ever do dance cardio. When I was trying, I was losing 20 pounds during I think it was 2016. I lost 20 pounds, maybe earlier actually. It was way earlier. Sorry, before streaming even came. I lost 20 pounds with metamorphosis and continuity, and at that time I was mastering cardio, because that's like a very quick way to get the weight off. But it was very challenging because I don't pick up choreography very well at all. Mm-hmm. So I would spend like with Loretta, she, you've met her, we met a couple times, and it was like Tracy had just launched Tava, and Loretta was like teaching everyone the dance after seeing it one time. And it takes a good like 3 weeks for me to even learn like maybe the first part of a dance. So I spent a good long while at least learning like 4 dances so I could do those over and over again. But now, no, the only thing I do is and this was after talking to Tracy about me, so I don't ever want to say like this is all you have to do, because everyone's different. But when I spent time with Tracy, which is where I met you in the Hamptons, I was talking to her and she was like, no, you don't have to. You can just do very sweaty muscular structures. So for me, she said that cardio, because it's such a chore, I don't have to do it, but I have to make sure that my heat and humidity is on point. So right now, depending on how I'm feeling, both emotionally and physically, I either choose intermediate or I choose master class, which is now called Attain. And if I feel very ambitious, I will do, I'll tack on beginners after whichever workout I do. So
how do you go about getting your heat and humidity right?
That's hard. So it's actually something I'm passionate about, so I made sure that I did it. Right now it's a little difficult because I'm an idiot and threw away my $100 humidifier that they actually use in the studios. Okay. It's the Homedics warm and cool mist humidifier. I'm gonna buy another one, but I just like haven't gotten around to it. So I use the Steam Fast clothes steamer, which a lot of people use, and that is like, I mean, if you put your hand on it, you're gonna get 3rd-degree burns. So don't do that. So that pushes out a lot of heat, and then the humidity, and then I also would use my Homedics humidifier, and then I have this really, I'll post this on my story right after this, but it's a tall heater that just, I mean, it's not infrared, but it just like, it pumps out a lot of heat. So I can heat my master bedroom and get it 85 degrees, 95 degrees with, 80%, 85% humidity in about an hour.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference.
Huge. Because when I travel and I don't have heat and humidity, it's not that the workout isn't hard, but it's just like I miss that sweat factor and the digging in deep of what you get when you do have the heat and humidity.
So when did you start using the heat and humidity? Did you do it like from the beginning or at some other point?
I was using, we used to have, I don't know how long, I forget how long you've been doing this, but we had a forum that Tracy had on her website with Metamorphosis, and that's how I met a lot of people like Erica and Jillian and a lot of people. So we had a forum. Well, there was this one girl named Julie who was part of it, and she was actually a studio member. Okay. Before you were allowed to have, Tracy now accepts drop-ins, which, we go all the time. But before that, you could not drop in. And so this girl who was part of that forum, she was a studio member. So we would send her our questions and she would ask the trainers for us. Because Tracy wasn't as accessible as she is now. So she and I became really good friends, Julie and I, and she invited me. She was like, hey, Tracy just released this thing where I can bring a guest to the studio. And she's like, I would love to bring you. And I'm like, oh my So I flew all the way, and I'm from California, so I had, family to see and whatever, but I flew from North Carolina, where I was living at the time, to Brentwood, and I went to the studio and I worked out. And first of all the trainers were like, "You do our DVDs?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You can keep up like everyone else in here." And I'm like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yes, we're shocked." So just, I say that not to brag about myself, but to show that Tracy, like what she delivers to us at home, trains us the exact same way as in the studio. So when I went there, the only factor that I had missing was the heat and humidity. And so I was like, oh, it completely changed my, whole entire workout experience. So when I got home, I set up my garage in North Carolina. It was summertime. And in North Carolina, my garage would get like exactly, it mimicked the same. So I worked out in my garage there, heat and humidity. And then after that, during the winter months, I set it up in my guest room upstairs. And ever since then, I was like, anytime I can't have the heat and humidity, it's just so sad.
It makes a huge difference.
It does.
So through your journey with the method, have you experienced any challenges?
Yeah, so I would say that, other than, I mean, physically, that it was learning choreography. My brain doesn't work that way. So that was the challenge. Um, I'm getting distracted reading the comments. Sorry. I'm like, ooh, what are they saying? So learning choreography, and when I learned, actually, it's amazing because I'm a researcher. Like I want to know the why behind everything. So if there's a problem, I'm gonna fix it, but I need to understand all of the reasons why it's a problem, so that I feel like I can fix it totally. It's like if you have a car and you're like, well, the brakes are bad. Well, why? Why are they bad? What are they doing? Is it me? Am I driving weird? Like what? So I like to know all of that. So when I'm sitting here going, okay, I really suck at choreography, I want to learn why. And I figured out it's just like there's a part of your brain that has, I mean, that's why dancers can pick it up so fast. I auditioned to be a trainer, and they didn't allow me to do it because they're like, you really suck at learning choreography. So I learned that it's a part of the brain that actually has to be worked. And these girls that pick it up, they do it from when they're tiny. So, it's easier for them. So that was a huge challenge for me. But the other challenges have been, what most athletes experience is pushing myself to do something when I don't want to. There's an emotional aspect for me that comes with not being able to do something the right way the first time. I don't like it. So when I would first come across a class that she made that, especially in continuity, where I'm like, I have to put that hoop where, and why am I doing, like, I don't understand, it's falling off, I'm not doing this right. And so I'd be like, I'm not doing it. So pushing myself to do something that I wasn't good at immediately was a problem for me. I didn't like that. And then outside of that, the biggest challenge that I've had now, with the shift that my life has taken, from divorce to being a single mom now, to moving a million times, consistency for the first time has been a problem for me. Not just consistency in finding the time to do it, but consistency in the emotional energy that it takes to put yourself on the mat, because it is an athletic process. So that's been hard. Now that's the challenge I'm facing now, is making myself do something that I just don't feel like doing.
Well, it's so like refreshing to hear, though, from especially someone with like a very long track record of being dedicated to the method, that there are still challenges. Like I think it just helps for everyone to know, like, nobody's perfect. It's never going to be easy for anyone, but it's about that, dedication to yourself to make sure your wellness as a priority.
Yes, and she, the thing that I appreciate about her and what she's taught me over the years, and what she teaches everyone, is that it's not just about like a physical a physical growth and development. It's character, and it's emotional, and it's really deciding that you're going to take care of yourself, and that when you take care of yourself, you can take care of other people so much better. I can't even tell you the difference that just, I mean, it's like, you know, some people like, I don't feel like taking a shower. Like something so similar, you know, like so like simple of hygiene can require so much energy. But then you go and you do it and you take a shower and you're like, wow, why didn't I do that before, like earlier? Why, that really was good for me. It did take some time, you know. That's so it, I mean, a shower's different than getting on the workout mat. But the point is, once you dedicate to doing that, the other problem I found is that when you the people in your circle have to accept that about you as well. Because right now I'm in a state where my value system could be different than the other people that I'm surrounded by. So if I say I need to work out right now and other people don't value exercise in that way, they're going to look at me and be like, that's selfish. And I'm like, okay, to you it might be selfish, but I'm telling you right now, I can treat you better. I can show up for you better. I can do all of these things for you better if you allow me to have this little bit of time, because it is like it's a self-care. So yes, there's a form of selfishness, but it's so that I can better perform. Just like me taking a shower is probably going to be beneficial to everyone else as well.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yes. So let's take a question in the chat. Kristen says, you're a very musical person. Are you still playing and singing? And what are you listening to now?
Oh, that's a fun question. Yes, I am a very musical question. And it's interesting because that's another thing that is a value system, you know? And so for me, music has always been such a huge part of my life. I had and still have dreams of, you know, music and writing and collaborating and things like that. But in the place that I'm in right now, that's been difficult to dedicate the time and the energy that it takes to do those things. So yes, I am. Sorry. Yes, I am still.
It's okay.
I'm a musical person. Yes, I do like to play. I do like to sing. It's interesting because I'm working on getting to a place where I can dedicate myself more to that. What am I listening to right now? Anything my kids want to listen to in the car. And it's so cool because I have such a broad spectrum of music interest. You know, like I'm really, really loving, I mean, like Selena Gomez just came out with a new album and I really like that. I love folk music. I like my son and all of his friends listen to, I guess it's called mumble rap. And so like Trippie Redd's always playing and Juice World and Lil Uzi and whoever else. I mean, like, I'm sitting there like, wait, his name's what? I thought there was Lil Mosey, there's Lil Uzi, there's Lil, okay. So Lil is the thing. That's what I have to learn. But then you know, my daughter, she listens to a band called Beach Bunny, so I've really enjoyed listening to that. You know, I love folk music. Like I said, I mean, the list goes on. I can show you my playlist if you want.
Yeah, we would love to have your playlist shared. We have another question in the chat from Alexandra. She said, do you ever tam with your mom? You are both gorgeous.
My mom's cool. She refused Tracy Anderson method for years. I mean, like years, because she was like, I'm not coordinated. I'm like, nobody is. That's the point of this method, is reconnection. So back in you know, 2008, 2009, when I was first doing the Matt DVD, I would drag her into my little studio that I had and make her do it with me, along with one of my best friends, Krista. And she was like, "This is so dumb. I hate it. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing." And now she's like, "I'm part of the Tamily. I'm part of this," you know? So she like, so we live on opposite coasts. She lives West Coast, I'm East Coast. So whenever we see each other, yeah, we definitely work out together. And you know, where she's always calling me like, "What do you think Tracy would say about this? And what do you think I should do? And do you think about what do you think about this week?" So yeah, we're very you know,
It's an awesome connection.
yeah.
Who in the Tamily inspires you?
Oh Lord, I have like 5 million inspirations from the Tamily, and all for different reasons. Loretta, because you know, she of her ability to pick up choreography, like it's her like first job. You know, you because of how you've brought and Nicole, because of how you guys have brought the community together in such a cool way. um I It's so weird. It's like a yesterday there was a girl who posted, I don't even remember her screen name handle, but she posted how she was annoyed with her husband because he had like started the dryer during like her 5 a.m. workout session, and she's like, "You never wake up at this time, and now you decide right in the middle of my workout to do this." And she was like complaining about it, and I'm like, hell yes, because I'm all about real. So she inspired me yesterday, you know. So it just, I mean, then you have Jillian because of, you know, just how positive and bright she is all the time. There's a list that can go on, and any given day I'm inspired by any one of them.
So I know you kind of like discovered the Tamily in the forum. Like, when and how did you join Instagram and start posting there?
Well, Tracy had the forum, and then that just all of a sudden disappeared. And we were like, where is it? Like, no one could log in. And we had, I don't even remember how, but I was in contact with a small group of people from that forum, like via my phone, or maybe it was Facebook, I don't know. So I quickly grabbed my, you know, phone when we were on there, and I made the Tracy Anderson community group so that we could all still just get on there and continue on what we were doing. And I said, "Hey, just like spread the word to anyone that you know." That grew into 5,000 people. And so it's fantastic. So I actually initially started posting my videos on that Facebook group. Well, then Tracy launched streaming. And she said, like, I think there was some contest where and at that time, Instagram still wasn't really huge, especially for Tracy. But she launched some Instagram contest where if you post your videos of whatever you do, you could like win a free month of streaming or a free year. I don't remember. So we were like, "Oh my gosh." So we all jumped on that. And it was the first time where like Tracy was accessible to us. Like, she was liking our videos, and she was commenting, and she was like, you know, being a part of this community. So I posted, it wasn't, you know, me first, but I was one of the first people to post my workouts because of this contest that she launched with streaming. Before that, we really weren't doing it.
That was amazing.
A long time ago.
Yeah, that launched this.
Yeah, exactly.
We have another question from Alexandra. If you could go to any Vitality Week, which location would you choose and why?
So I had, with you, like, my dream was the Hamptons. I went there, and this is more of a testament to how generous and wonderful and giving Tracy is. I went there with a friend. We actually road tripped from my house to the Hamptons. And we got this Airbnb very last minute. And we got this Airbnb, and she had texted me and was like, "Let me know when you get here," because we ended up becoming friends due to I created one of the first Tamily t-shirts. So we were talking about that together. So she texted me and she said, "Let me know when you guys are here." So we showed up to the Airbnb, and it was so horrible. Like, not just gross, but like the guy was creepy. He had like the doors only locked from the outside. We had to
Oh my
like share
God.
a bathroom with him. Like, oh my gosh, it was so scary. So she was like, "How's your Airbnb?" And we're like, really bad. So she's like, "Pack your shit and get to my house now." So we ended up staying the whole week with her at her house, getting to know her. So to say like, where I'm like, well, I've already done it. Like that was my check in the box. Like being able to go to the Hamptons and then stay with her and like have firsthand experience with her in that way was so cool. But now, if I could go anywhere, it would be Spain. I would love to go to the one that they're doing right now. It would just be awesome.
Be unbelievable.
She's incredible. And I mean, Spain would be a dream.
Yeah, to me, it's like wherever Tracy is, but
yeah.
Okay, we have a couple more questions in the chat. Christina wants to know how many days a week you are now tamming, and which is your go-to class right now.
My go-to, well, like I said, it depends on the day. Because consistency has been difficult in this like lifestyle that I have right now. I'd say I'd get in 5 days a week. I choose not to work out on the weekends because that, as a single mom, like I'm so busy and I'm spread really thin. So, on the weekends, I want to give like 100% availability to whoever needs me at any point, and that's just my balance. But so like 5 days a week is 4 to 5 is what I get. Which is actually what I've done for a long time. Like I remember people when Tracy started launching the new workout on Wednesdays, I didn't work out Wednesdays. And Leonie, she'd be like, "You don't work out on Wednesdays. That's like the day you want to work out." And I'm like, "I'm just tired on that day. Like I'll wait. I'll just see what everyone else says." But so yeah, I do that, and then I get in, I either do intermediate or master depending on what I feel like doing.
What would be your advice to someone who is new to the method?
Yeah. Do not give up. Like, just don't stop, because, and I'm sure that's everyone's advice, because the minute it's so foreign, because if you think about traditional forms of exercise, it's so easy to do a bicep curl. It's so easy to do a squat. It's easy to run for 30 minutes. It's even easy to sit there and like pump your arms up and down like this during Pilates or whatever. It's so, it's so basic. And so when you are introduced to the Tracy Anderson method, she's having you, even just like her little arm things, you're like, what the F am I doing? Like, this is like Jane Fonda on crack. Like, I have no clue what's happening. And then you get on all fours and, forget the fact that we do 9,000 like butt lifts. I mean, sometimes we're like butt lifting and then hurling ourselves up, and then we're doing this. And so what that creates is that it's people don't like it because it reveals shortcomings. And when you hold up a mirror to yourself and you see your shortcomings, the immediate response is like, I don't want to look at that. I'm going to go to what I already know. I'm going to go to what I already can do. And so then I would say, well, if you're doing this, it's because that wasn't working for you. Like, you're still trying to find something that's going to keep your interest or that's going to hold you long enough, because you're either not getting results or it's not challenging you or whatever. So if you're going to come here and you're not able to do it, quote unquote, because everyone is able to do it at some point, this is where you're supposed to be. Like you're supposed to be in a place. That's what athletes do. They're constantly challenged and they're showing their shortcomings so they can work on them and overcome them. If I wanted to sit comfortable and pretty all the time, I would just sit on the couch and go for a walk, and then eat like that. It would be very basic. So the goal to being a better person, the way to be a better person is to keep doing things that you're not good at, that challenge you, that show you your shortcomings. So if you're sitting there going, I can't do this, it's not working, like suffer through it, because eventually there will be a connection and you'll get it.
Absolutely. Um, how do you personally get and stay motivated to work out so regularly?
Well, I don't work out too regularly now, like I said, but that's temporary, and it's getting better. It's getting better. It's a choice, It is. It's a choice, and I had, for people who like, we'll take a smoker for example. A smoker's lighting up a cigarette, and they're like, "Oh, like I hate being a smoker. I wish I didn't do it." Well, that's your decision. You have to decide whether or not you want to be a smoker. What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be that person, or do you want to be that person? No one else is going to do it for you, so I can sit there and I can decide, okay, or I can blame and say, well, it's my circumstance. Sometimes it is. Like sometimes I literally cannot work out because I don't have assistance. I'm by myself with these two kids. And so sometimes work takes precedence, or I'm just really tired or whatever. There are some times where I just cannot get in that workout, but I have to decide what kind of person I want to be. If I want to be a healthy person, if I want to be a happy person, if I want to be strong, if I want to live well, and all of that, I have to decide that for myself that that's like a priority. That's what I need to do. So I can sit and scroll Instagram all day and watch all of you guys working out and be like, oh, I wish I could be like them. Well, then go be like them. It's your choice. It's a decision, and so to say, how do I stay motivated? I'm a really big advocate for saying what's real and saying what's right. I probably come off as a basket case on my posts sometimes, or I am very transparent about like the hardships in my life. But I feel like that's the only way that I'm going to stay authentic and to make proper choices for myself. So, the way I stay motivated is like, well, shit's hard. So do I want to work out or not? Okay, yeah. I got to.
It's so truthful. Like that's one part that, I really don't think you get with other fitness methods about having hard conversations with yourself.
No, and that was one thing that when I read Tracy's book, when Gwyneth was talking, and it might not have been in that book actually. It might have been in an interview with Gwyneth about Tracy. I don't know, but she said that she'd been doing the method for a little while, and then all of a sudden she just like burst into tears on the mat, and and Tracy just stood there and let her cry. And she's like, after that, her results catapulted, because it's so much more than just, like I said, doing a squat or doing a bicep curl. Like you're tapping into a place that nothing else but physical exertion can get you to. I can sit on a therapist's couch and I can cry and I can cry and I can do all of these things, and that's wonderful. I'm saying that's important. But there's pushing yourself to a certain place physically brings out a therapeutic healing that cannot happen in any other way. So it's good.
Absolutely. And to me, I mean, I guess I never did any other method the way I do this method, but I just don't see that happening necessarily.
No.
It's like this method, it's that mind body connection, it's the truth of it. It's on another level.
Well, the reason why, and I will say that I experienced that kind of stuff when I was marathon training. But again, that was me. I made that choice to push myself into that place. You know, there's like, if you watch that really old show, The Biggest Loser, I mean, the trainers were pushing them to a place of emotional exhaustion, physical exhaustion, to where everything emotional came out. Most people, though, don't want to push themselves to that place. I get it. Nobody wants to be uncomfortable. We don't want to, you know, we don't want to sit there and be like, yes, this hurts, let's do it more. Like, you know, we're creatures of comfort. But in order to get to a better place, you have to push yourself into that place of pain and sit in there. I'm sure most of people who follow me realize that I sell Young Living and I teach Young Living. I love that because it's the same thing. They come to me like, well, my spleen hurts, or like my chest, I always have allergies, or I always have this stomach problem. And I'm most of the time, what I spend with on my clients who are part of my organization is, okay, well, you have these stomach issues. What kind of trauma have you dealt with? Like what's going on in your past life? That's why I love Tracy so much, is because she calls that out. It's the same thing. Well, sure, I can give you a digest, like I can give you an oil that's going to go on your stomach, but I want to know what your lifestyle is like that's causing all of these things to happen. And if you're not going to address that, we're not going to get rid of your stomach problems.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
100% true. What is something else, and I know you kind of mentioned a few things, but I'd like you to call out something specific that you've learned from Tracy that you would like to share with everyone.
So the number, I saw that question on the list that you sent me, and I was like, I hope she asks that question.
Oh, good.
But I didn't say anything. Nicole was like, do you want her to ask any specific questions? And I said, no, because I wanted this to just be as organic as possible. But I was hoping you'd ask that. Tracy taught me, it could make me emotional. Tracy taught me that it was okay to be a woman. When we're in this society, and especially how I grew up and the marriage that I was in, I don't want to badmouth that, but the marriage that I was in was very suppressing to my femininity, my womanhood, what I was allowed to do, who I was allowed to be, my sexuality, all of that. And so what Tracy taught me, spending that week with her especially, was such a gift, because she was like, okay, feminism is not suppressing men. We don't have to sit there and like be like, I can do anything a man can do. Well, no, you can't. Just like a man can't do anything a woman can do. Okay? Like, you have to celebrate your womanhood, like who you are as a woman. You don't need to be a man. Like, let them be men. We're women. This is what we can do, and this is what we should do, and don't silence that. So what she taught me was to own who I was as a woman, what made me feel beautiful, what made me feel strong, what made me feel like I had a voice. And that's going to look different than someone else, than another woman, maybe. So, oh, hi, there's Dee. I love her. She's a huge inspiration to me, too. But she taught me, she really gave me the permission, which I didn't need, but I also needed. She gave me the permission to be a woman, to even figure out what that was to me, rather than what everyone told me I was supposed to be. So that's the biggest one.
That one's big. Definitely. Thank you for sharing that with us. Obviously being open in this interview, but you're open all the time.
Maybe a little too much. Sometimes my boyfriend's like, you kind of sound nuts sometimes. And I'm like, well, because I am. I don't know.
We all are. So we appreciate it. The Tamily appreciates it.
Yeah, thank you.
What is something else that's important to you that you'd like to share with the Tamily?
Oh, something that's important to me. That's gonna piggyback right off of what I just said. In a world that is full of people telling you who you're supposed to be. I don't care if you're a man. I mean, we have a lot of men in the Tamily. I don't care if you're, 13. Whoever you are, there's someone telling you who you're supposed to be. There's obviously right and wrong, and there's like, well, that's not a good thing as a person to do. But I mean, there's always someone or something or some avenue that we're being told that we need to do something or be something. I have two philosophies that I live by, and one is you call everything by its right name. So if I'm sad, I'm gonna say that I'm sad. If I'm mad, I'm gonna say if I'm mad. If I'm completely like broken, I'm gonna say that. Or if I'm really, really loving life and happy, I'm gonna say that. My Instagram, if you scroll through it, is a big mess. I mean, like, it's nothing, there's no pretty filters, there's no pretty like borders, there's no like nothing. It's very messy because that's what my life is. I mean, you're gonna go through it and you're gonna see like pretty much all of the highs and the lows of my whole life. And I try to be very transparent with everyone. That's because if someone's gonna be inspired by me, or if someone's going to look at my life, I want them to see like what's really going on so they can call it by its right name. So I can say that this is the way it is. Additionally, I believe that wise women copy wise women. If you want to be a wise woman, look at someone that you, like for me, I look at Tracy and I'm like, I love so much about who she is as a person. I want to copy those things that I like about her. I want to be like that. That's not to take away from who I am as a person. It's not saying that I have to, not be myself, but this is who, like I said, what kind of person do you want to be? Well, this is the kind of person I want to be, and that's what she's doing. So I want to learn that. So I'm going to call everything out the way it is, but then I'm also going to look at what I do like and take pieces, because nobody is autonomous. We're just not. We are always learning from other people. And so I want to look and see, who I like and all of that. So my advice, or my whatever you said it was, what'd you say it was, to the Tamily is just like, you're already on this forum. You're already on social media watching the Tamily. Be honest. Don't show who, you think you're supposed to be. Like, show who you want to be and show how it really is, because that's how you form authenticity and authentic connections.
So. Yeah, and I think that's such an important thing, especially for people that are new to the method, to know, like, it's not, oh, I want to be perfect like these people and their perfect videos and their like perfect ability to work out every day. It's, everybody has different struggles, and we're all like on this journey together. It's not, someone is perfect and you want to be like them.
It's like, well, and it's not possible. Like, it's just, it's setting yourself up for failure and showing only the parts of your life. If you're going to be on social media, be on social media. Like, I'm not going to show you like me when I'm like in the like screaming at my children, which I do sometimes, because I'm a mother and kids are really hard. But because that's like, I'm an advocate also for privacy. But what I'm saying is like, if you're going to invite people into your life, show them who you are, and if you don't know what that is, look at people that you admire and find out, okay, well, what are they doing? What are they like? How can I invite part of that into my life to become a better person? I don't know if that makes sense, but
totally. Have you converted anyone to the method besides your mom?
Yes, I have. I don't think I've converted anyone other than my mom to be as diehard about it as I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I've definitely gotten people to say like, okay, what is this? And they've, added it maybe into their lives a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it's hard because most people don't stick with it because it requires so much more than they're ever required to give in a fitness method. So yes
Absolutely.
and no.
Yeah, that's an excellent point about it, though. I always say, like, I have never converted anyone. I've introduced it to people, but it's for a special kind of group.
It is, and it's a little annoying. Like I don't mean to sound bitchy, but I'm kind of like, all you do is talk about like how you like how I look, how you're admiring my Instagram, how I'm so dedicated. You're asking, like, you're saying, wow, like the fitness routine, I'm not getting results, and I'm telling you, look, I've been doing this for 12 years. Nah. Well, okay. Then you stick with what you think, but it's obviously not working. So
Yeah.
you're not happy. That's what I should say. It's like, I'm not telling you it's not working because you don't look good. I'm just saying you're still complaining, but you're not willing to try something else. Like you, I don't like when people complain about problems, but then they don't want a solution.
Right.
So
That's such the with this method, because people will say, like, "Oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? You look so good." And it's like, "Oh, I work out like an hour plus a day every day, 7 days a week, and try to eat healthy." And they're
and
like,
they're like,
"Oh, that's not what I hear."
you mean you don't take a pill? I can't sit on my
Right.
couch.
Right. It's not 15 minutes a week on some weird machine. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, people don't want to hear it's hard, but you have to tell the truth about that. If
Yeah,
they
yeah,
really want real wellness results, then
exactly.
they can come to the light side.
Yeah.
Um, what was your actual first post to Instagram as part of the Tamily? Do you remember?
Yes. I was in Florida. And it was like right when I was doing continuity. I was in Florida for a month, and I decided to just like post a selfie of like after my workout. And I felt so dumb. I was like, that was very self-indulgent. Like I was like, and now we're all like, ooh, look at me
Yeah.
all the time. But at that first thing, I was like, this is so dumb. And I never did it again. And then Tracy did her little thing, and I was like, okay, everyone else is doing it, so now I can. But
It's funny how weird it feels in the beginning, and now it's so normal.
I know.
So we want to learn a little more about you personally before our interview ends in a few minutes. Where do you live and what do you do?
Oh, well, I live in Richmond, Virginia now. I'm originally from California, Orange County. And I am an essential oils advocate. I'm a natural medicine. So I specifically use Young Living. And I like to make sure I tell people that yes, it is a network marketing company, but it's not like that. Like I'm not like join my team and then do this. I really focus on inviting people in to become a part of my family, and I get to know them, and I teach them how to improve their health and wellness naturally, specifically focusing on hormones and emotions. But yes, I do that with Young Living.
Well, we appreciate the
Thank you.
information you share. I know, especially from Instagram, that's the only social media I'm on, but I know obviously a presence on Facebook from that front as well.
Yes.
So if anyone has any more questions, please type them in the chat now. And then, Tiffany, we just wanted to ask, when you, with this audience, is there anything else that you would like to say to the Tamily?
Oh, I mean, I think I've said it a lot. It's really, really, really important to me, for people to realize that they are, they're loved, like they're, you know, like they're important. And I know that sounds so cliche, but in this world, especially with the community that we're in, it's a fitness industry. It can get really, it can be really easy to get lost and to feel like, you know, you're not good enough. You know, what you're doing isn't good enough and it's not enough. And it might not be for you. You might need to deliver more to get the life and the personhood that you want. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it, and it doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It just, you know, it's about being authentic with and honest with yourself. But I really want people to who are in this community to never feel, I mean, I've been in this community for, I mean, it's been like 7 years, six. I mean, I don't know how long we've really been doing this, but there's been ups and downs, and I've seen people get hurt, and I've seen cliques be formed, and then the people get mad about that and this and that. And so really what I would just say is the more authentic and true to yourself that you are, and the more forgiving you are of yourself and other people, is how you're going to get the most out of this community and this method. It's very inclusive, and it's a very good community. But if you can't find that authentic part of you, you might have a hard time, I think. I don't know if this is making sense, but what I'm saying is that coming into anything like this, it can feel like, oh, I have to be a certain way, or have to do a certain thing. You don't. You have to be who you are and realize that that's enough. But you also have to come to the table willing to grow and willing to change, because the requirements, I think, that Tracy has on us, and it is a constant pushing. That's why she changes it every 7 days, you know, and so we're always going to be pushed to a new place. So you have to be willing to come in and say, I don't have it all together, but I really want to grow. I really want to learn from everybody. And I have something to teach everyone else too. So that's what I'm saying, is like being willing to learn and be willing to show who you are.
That's such a great, like, explanation of how this community works, that is inclusive, and you have to show up like being open and willing to share yourself, and then you gain so much from the other
people. Yes.
So we do have a fun question for you in the chat.
Yay.
This is from Nicole. If you were stuck on a desert island, what is the one single oil you would choose to have?
Oh, that's a mean question. I think that I would probably, if I'm stuck on an island, I'm not going to need my hormone oils, because I'm going to have like perfect food. And so my hormones will balance out. And,
okay.
You know, okay. So I'm not going to need it. But I think I would probably want my ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is an oil that is good for your skin. It's good for your hair. It does balance out estrogen. It's also good for libido. And it's good for, I mean, it smells incredible. It's one of those oils that make me feel like womanly. So I would choose that one.
That's a very good answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Tiffany, for being open and honest and fun, like you always are.
Thank you.
And thanks for being our 80th Ask Tamily interview.
Yay! It was so fun. Thank you so much for letting me do this, and for all that you guys do. It's just, it's a really big gift to the community.
Thank you. We really, really love it. I mean, it's like the highlight of my week, getting to talk to someone.
I'm sure.
About Tracy for an hour.
Cool.
Well, this interview is going to be on my story for the next 24 hours. And then in a couple days, it'll be on YouTube forever and ever and ever.
Okay. So it's not on my story.
No, people
Nope.
can see it on your live right now, but once we stop, it'll just go to my story. But
Got it.
they can watch
Okay.
it there for.
I'll send them over to you if they want.
Okay.
So, okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Tiffany.
you.
Have a great
Have
weekend,
a good
everybody.
weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye.